After watching the video, we all agreed that innovation disruption is necessary for a company to succeed in the 21st century. This is one of the main ideas of the video, and the speaker makes emphasis that a company stuck on the 20th century and with a legacy mindset will not succeed in this day and age. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I totally agree that we live like in a society of enterprises in which we need disruptive innovation to succeed in whatever ideals we have of innovating the way the world works.
Yes,
I
I
think
think,
that no, go, Ximena, go ahead.
okay, sorry. I think that if a company like do not continue like updating their things and their people, they can't make like more success that they are having.
And you said something that for me is very interesting. That you said that we live in a society ruled by companies. I do agree with that, but I think that inside this world, we live in a world of competition, and the companies that will compete, the ones that are going to succeed are the ones that innovate the most.
And the
So I
ones that
think that,
compete the most.
and how
Yeah,
do they compete?
exactly.
They compete by innovating more, showing the other competition that they're better than they. So yes, I agree with what you said.
I think that because of having like a reason to compete, they can make like improvements in their things and in their innovation that they are making.
But I think that I know, Arturo, go ahead.
Okay. So on the video, the speaker talked about the Walmart example that Walmart was trying to compete with Amazon, but they were still thinking about how to latch their new enterprise with the Walmart motherboard. So like they had that legacy mindset that was holding them back, and when they finally tried to do it like separately, they succeeded. And I think that's a perfect example of what we are talking about.
Yeah, I think that you're absolutely right.
I think that it's
And
compete
and
with Amazon, but they can make it.
no, and it's not that they can't, because in a way, Walmart and Amazon, I think that they could share clients. The thing is that they won't be able to compete, and I say that like this, compete, because the way they target their market is completely different. So I think that that's the biggest difference between Walmart and Amazon. So I don't think there was a direct competition, but I think that for Walmart, they should think how they could um, increase the ways they approach their clients.
Yeah, I agree with that. Another point that I think that it's very interesting is that he says that all organizations are able to resist change, because some of them, I think that they are maybe afraid of changing things, but I think that it's necessary to keep like moving and keep having success and keep selling things or keep like in the same range they are.
Yeah, well, I kind of agree and disagree with that because not every organization is gonna be able to resist the changes, and maybe not all of them are gonna be able to be a part of the innovation that is beating them, you know? So sometimes I think the same topic of innovation is gonna beat the most the strongest competitors, and not all of them are going to be able, because there will be weak enterprises who won't resist the change of innovation.
I don't think that it is resisting innovation, but when a company has success in what they sell or what they provide, I think that they have um, created a way they operate. So getting outside that comfort zone, it's the thing that, well, if it's working, why should we change it? So it's not like they resist change, but they fell into a comfort zone.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Okay, and another point is that advanced technologies don't cost very much because of, like, right now we have a lot of access to information and technologies. Like, we type in our phones the information that we're looking for, and in like 5 seconds we have the information. So that's like, I don't know how to explain it like that well, but
Oh, the globalization that we were talking about last class, right?
yes, that's all. Like the information that we have in our hands, it's incredible big. And we have all type of information, so it doesn't cost very much.
Yeah. And I think that, for example, innovation has been achieved only by people or enterprises who are fearless, who have fearless vision. That I believe innovation and growing into the advanced world we're living in is like a stairs, and you're in a step and you don't want to move, like something that David said, the comfort zone. And I think when you have the idea of, okay, I want to go a step forward, and you have a foot on the step you're in and you have another foot in your next level, that's the main thing that's gonna decide if you're gonna be able to handle the change or not. Because there are gonna be people who will say like, no, let's not do this, like for many examples he gave in the presentation. And there's gonna be people who are gonna be there's going to be fear of the change. There's going to be people who don't like the change. And I think only people who are very perseverant on the idea of moving forward are the ones who really achieve it. I don't
And
know what you
something,
guys.
no, I completely agree. This world is a world for the bold, the ones that they are willing to make the choices and the decisions that the others are not willing to. And something Ximena said about this huge advancement in innovation, technology, and everything related of on how global we are getting, is that this information and this huge expansion has led us to make well, that the changes, the huge ones, the big ones, start getting unpredictable. We cannot predict because the changes start ruling by themselves. I don't know if I get myself clear.
Yeah.
Yes, that is like the pandemic going on. So nobody was anticipating it, and because of it, many enterprises they have crashed, or maybe they stopped running profits and everything, and that is because they were afraid of changing their way of I don't know
Operation.
how to say it. Yes, operations. Thank you.
Yeah, because
And
no one was ready. I'm sorry, to
no,
like
no, go
a
ahead.
pandemic season, or no, I think that no company was ready for this. But for example, in here in Cancun, I heard about, despegar.com,
Yeah.
like Best Day and all that kind of like companies. Despegar.com like disappeared in 1 week with the pandemic. So I think that they weren't ready. Any company was ready, but like they were afraid of like moving on and making more things or innovating like the the things that they almost have to adapt to this new life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like some companies base their, for example, their enterprises, their advertisements on like paper, and they put it on stores and whatnot. But others move forward with the easy way of Facebook or online advertisements, which has helped them throughout the pandemic because people are obviously not going out as much, and they spend more time online. So their desired audience grows and grows, and that way their commerce also grows.
Yeah, exactly. And I think something important is that there's always going to be the side that wants to improve, and there's always going to be the side that is okay being in the comfort zone, you know? And I think a main problem that we're living right now is that people who want to improve get stuck discussing with these people, and just how the guy said in the video, like there's always going to be this kind of discussion, and we're not moving forward because we get stuck and discussing either we have to do it or not, you know? Like if we want to put a better system in education, teachers and old schools are going to be like, no, don't do this, and the other ones are going to be like, yes, and we get stuck in debates and discussions and, you know, sharing ideas, but we're never moving forward to actually doing it because we get stuck on discussing whatever change we want to do with the people who don't want that change, you know?
I think there's a big difference between doing and talking. We as humans like discussion and expressing ourselves, but that's not enough in order to make and adapt to big changes. So yeah, I think that most of the times, if you start realizing what you have proposed in the past, not just for a business of your own or anything like in your houses, in whatever aspect of your life you like, we tend to talk and not that much to do. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's totally one of our world's and society's problems, that there's like a lot of ideas going on in your head, and you only do one of the thousand things that cross your mind,
There's
and
a
on everything and any area that you want to talk about.
there's a quote in Spanish. I don't know like how to translate it like exactly in English. That it's hechos no actos no palabras. And I'm like a huge fan of that quote because I think that many of us only speak and speak and speak in some like topics and some things, but like we don't do like the things, we don't make the changes, we're just expecting to the change happens to us. So like we need to go and get the things that we want to achieve,
Yeah,
or like our purpose, we need to go and look for it. So I think that it's the same with companies.
absolutely.
Sure.
Okay, I will change like
So well, part of what we're saying is, and here we fall into the same that we talk and, well, yeah, we're saying and we're realizing there is something we don't like in the way we act, or that there is something we don't like. So taking into consideration everything we've said right now, for example, social technologies are this tool that we are having right now in order to stop for example, this issue we have with the discussion and not the action, in order to make real-time actions, for example, right now, that despite the weather we're having in Cancun right now or the pandemic, we're making this class happen and we're making this discussion happen and we are making the things happen because we have adapted ourselves in order to the change.
and because we took the decision of like keep learning things and keep like moving with the school, because it could be like more easy to say I'm not going to study this year because of the pandemic and because of it's going to be everything in Zoom, but we took the decision because we want like better things, I think. Well, I speak for me, I don't know if you want, but I do it because of that.
No, I agree. I agree with what you said.
Okay, so another thing that for companies and some of the highlights of the book, I forget the author's name, Samil, I remember. He spoke about how not having hierarchies will help us in order to get to a better and a faster result. So, for example, right now we didn't have this hierarchy of who is going to be the leader. We all worked together in order to achieve a goal, right? So if we apply this to an organization, a company, a business, whatever, having this hierarchy in where everyone has their own tasks will make the job get faster and better done.
Yeah, I think that's like super true, because I believe that we're stuck in the idea of, okay, let's innovate. Okay, we're a world, an advanced world and an advanced society and a very open-minded thing and all that, but we're still stuck in the ideas of 20 years ago and 30 years ago. We're still studying the same educational system we you know decades ago. And I believe that the main reason we have to move is what David was saying, the organizational part. Everything that comes from the head, like the systems, the organization that an enterprise or a corporation needs. I think that has to change, because that's what's going to change completely everything. And that could be like a dramatic increase in everything.
Yes, that's like the example the speaker gave about the company that made fridges, I believe, that had around 8,000 employees, but they were all listening to the same person. But then they divided that company. Well, they cut their employees to only 2,000 and divided it into groups. They all chose their leaders and their productivity roles, and yeah, that's like what we are saying.
Yes, and well, the thing with this is that we have the chance to experiment and try out new ways of getting to the result. And all this technology, globalization, however you want to call it, allows us to try. And if it doesn't work, we can go back into our mistake and redo it. So this is what he called a feedback loop.
In part, I
Yeah,
agree,
I
but
think
in
that's.
part,
Oh, sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you talk.
Okay,
You talk.
so yes, so I lost myself. I don't remember what I was going to
You were
say.
saying
Sorry.
that in part you agree, but in part you disagree.
Oh yes, that some people can make the changes because they can afford to. But others, if they fail once, they can't restart their company. They don't have the resources or whatnot. So I think that's not a problem, but what holds some people back.
Yeah.
And maybe because of the fear of like failing again, and it's not like easy. It's easy for us to saying like you can try again and again and again, but maybe if like you are running a company and you have like everything the way you like it or the way it's succeeding, and then you fail, it's like I'm not going to fail again because I don't want to fail again. But I think that life